It's strange, isn't it? Sometimes the bigger an object is, the less we actually seem to see it. Take that vehicle, for example. It catches the eye immediately, and yet the trees which surround it, we almost fail to notice. And that's the point. In southwest Scotland, Galloway Forest Park is massive, sprawling over 300 square miles. It's the biggest in Britain and one of the largest in Europe. Its huge area is sanctuary to some of our smallest and most unusual montane scrub. The plants are hidden away in the vastness of the hills, including the likes of the Merrick, Mulwacher and the Rins of Kells. Someone who has studied the montane scrub and understands its wider relationship with the habitat here is the manager of the Galloway Forest Park.
I've been involved since the inception of the Amwood project and the Mountain Woodland project. I've been working with the Montane Scrub Action Group for 15 years. So the key findings are is that in the Galloway Hills is that we have high quality montane scrub, high quality natural tree line scrub. And that's rich in species, far richer than we had imagined. Still very, very restricted in its distribution, still needing a real helping hand. And we're so grateful to the volunteers who've worked so hard to identify this.
They have some very nice areas of montane scrub, and they are discovering more as time goes on within the project. You know, we're doing some survey work down there, and you know they've been out surveying the hills. The volunteers have been out surveying the hills with the Forest Park district manager, and you know they are looking at new areas of montane scrub, things they've not seen before.
And a new patch of this has just been found in Galloway. It's called Downy Willow, Salix laponum. In the past, the inner bark was eaten cooked or raw, and even the fine hair seeds were turned into a cloth. So not only pretty, but useful as well.
We're also working on the demonstration site to help us develop the recipe, if you will, for what we will do with the tree-lined woodland as we withdraw some of the conifer forest down the hill. What will we replace it with? And in Galloway, it's relatively common on the coast. The big creamy white fern, absolutely beautiful. And then in the garden at Glentrail Visitor Centre, we're trying to demonstrate to the visiting public, you know, perhaps at that site maybe 50,000–60,000 people a year, what they can expect to find in the Galloway Hills and something of the conservation issues surrounding montane scrub and tree-lined scrub in Scotland.
Cree Valley Community Woodlands Trust are in partnership with Forestry Commission for the Montane Scrub Habitat Project, which is funded by the Heritage Lottery Fund and by SNH. And our volunteers have been involved from the inception of this demonstration garden.
It's volunteering, helping with conservation and, you know, helping the natural environment.
Which aims to demonstrate to the public what the original montane habitat in the hills would have looked like. And there will be specific planting, there will be different levels to recreate the montane area, and there will be interpretation for the visitor.
Well, it's important so that people get an understanding of what else is out there, because people live in cities might not have ever seen out on the hills, and if they get a chance to come to see the garden and get more interested and possibly go out looking for more.
I grew up in Galloway and have always considered myself to be a country lass, but like many, I've perhaps taken the small plants of the montane scrub for granted. It's a habitat which needs to be and should be preserved for the future.
Is that there's very, very little of this left. We seem to be largely missing it. We've got some good quality stuff, don't get me wrong, but it's so small and so restricted. But what we want to do is to expand that resource, to do it in as natural a way as possible. And the work of the volunteers, both in the surveys, the demonstration site, and in the garden is going to help that. They will become the people who will champion montane scrub and tree-lined woodland in the future. they'll be key to this. But also the wider public, they'll get a knowledge to understand, well, actually, there is something rather special here, but we need to look after it.